Vegas in the past couple of years. Various sites around Las Vegas has brought a lot of those fans in here tonight, and they are now coming to their feet to acknowledge the challenger, Greg Haugen. He has appeared calm and relaxed throughout the week. Indeed, we saw him leaving the hotel earlier this afternoon, going off, I gather, for a light lunch of some kind with some of his partners in the corner, and Greg Haugen seems to be confident and ready to go against the somewhat more experienced Jimmy Paul, and that Paul's opponents have included the likes of Harry Arroyo, Cubanito Perez, Andy Gannigan, all victories for Jimmy Paul, and Darrell Tyson his last outing, and Jimmy Paul with a 26-1 record has had more professional bouts, but doesn't seem to faze young Greg Haugen at all. For Jimmy Paul, he may not have quite the same kind of crowd support in here that Haugen is expected to, but he has that tremendous stable of champions from the Kronk Gym in Detroit. Thomas Hearns and Milton McCrory are here. The tradition that was established by Hilmer Kenny, the lightweight champ, and now Jimmy Paul, also a lightweight champion of the IBF. Wayne Thomas will be battling later on, yet another Kronk boxer, and they're all here to support Jimmy Paul's title defense, and that's a tremendous asset for him to have, because these guys have been there before. He's a champion, and the pride of that Kronk stable stands very high indeed. So Jimmy Paul, well, as we indicated, might not be the fan favorite here tonight. He knows that he's got plenty of support from the Kronk. Jimmy Paul making his way to the ring here at the Sports Pavilion in Caesars Palace, site of so many great championship fights in the past. And as we said, we expect plenty of action in this doubleheader we have for you tonight on Showtime. International Boxing Federation rules: for the bout, 15 rounds will decide the championship, barring a knockout. Scoring on the 10-point must system, 9 points or fewer to the loser of a round. A standing 8 count, if so demanded by the referee, meaning a fighter in trouble does not have to be knocked down to have to take the 8 count. And the 3 knockdown rule is not in effect, meaning that, again, at the discretion of the referee, a fighter could be knocked down more than 3 times in a round without the fight being stopped. Now, our tail of the tape saw both of these boxers come in right at the limit, 135 pounds. The height and reach advantage go to the champion, Jimmy Paul. And now let's go up to our ring announcer, Chuck Hull.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Caesars Palace Sports Pavilion, where tonight Top Rank Incorporated, in association with Caesars Palace, presents World Championship Boxing. These bouts are sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Dwayne Ford, chairman. Commissioners at ringside are Mr. Sig Rogich, Freddie Little, and Sammy Macias. The matchmaker is Mel Greb. Representing the IBF at ringside, Mr. Al Goodman. The officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for this next bout of the evening. The judges are Art Lurie of Nevada, Robert Cox of Arizona, and Ed Levine of Florida. The timekeeper is Al Bisick. Counting at the knockdowns, Jane Broadfoot. The attending physicians at ringside, Doctors Donald Romeo, Flip Homansky, and Elias Ghanem. Your referee is Davy Pearl. This is the co-main event of the evening. 15 rounds of boxing for the IBF Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing, in the red corner, formerly of Auburn, Washington, now fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, weighing 135 pounds, with a professional record of 18 wins, no defeats, 1 draw, and 9 KOs. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the challenger, an NABF lightweight champion, Greg Haugen. And in the blue corner, from Detroit, Michigan, he too weighs 135 pounds. His professional record consists of 26 wins, 1 defeat with 19 KOs. He is the IBF lightweight champion of the world, Jimmy Paul.
Let's go. Hey, Jim. I remember you got your instructions in the ring. You know exactly what to do. Any questions now? Any questions? No questions at all. All right, shake hands and good luck to you both.
So we are set for round one, number one of this IBF lightweight championship bout. The champion in gold is Jimmy Paul, 26-1, and Greg Haugen, the challenger and the present North American lightweight champion, 18-0-1 with 9 KOs in the blue. The referee, Davey Pearl. Jimmy Paul's pattern established in the opening seconds, as it usually is. Go slowly to the center of the ring and start using that good solid jab with the long reach. One thing in watching Haugen in recent bouts, Gil, that would appear to be a bit of a problem for him against a sharpshooter like Paul is that he doesn't bob and weave very much. He's virtually a stand-up target in there.
Tim, he's always looking to throw punches.
As he did there, with a pretty good right hand to the body.
There's good concentration, though, Tim. And so far, Jimmy Paul has been jabbing short, as he just did then, missed 3 jabs. Paul is going to have to establish that jab, keep this kid off him. Haugen is a very, very strong kid.
Can you imagine him at about this same weight taking on those 195, 200-pounders in the tough guy contest? Not something we condone, by the way. And those can be dangerous. Fortunately, young Greg Haugen survived all of that action in Alaska.
Tim, it's very interesting to me that Paul has not been able to hit Haugen with his jab. Well, we say that Jimmy Paul lulls you to sleep and puts you to sleep.
Good counter left hook by Haugen in the last exchange as we go into our minute. In round one, scheduled for 15. He certainly has shown some proper respect for the challenger, because it's not that Haugen isn't there to land the jab on. It's just that Paul has been unwilling to make that step in there.
That's right, Tim. That half step that counts.
Do not be lulled by a slow start from Jimmy Paul. It is typical. An overhand right, and a warning to Davey Pearl for hitting to the back of the head. Final seconds of round one. IBF 15-round lightweight championship bout. Greg Haugen stalking, and the champion, as we see him here, his usual somewhat deliberate start, but Gil, I think he pointed out the significant thing about the round is that he was unable to reach Haugen with the jab. And we hear Emmanuel Stewart.
You can see the gap. So just close the gap a little more, okay? I don't need to fight a good fight. Right hand and find yourself. It's a matter of time. Close up the gap a little bit. You're giving him too much room back there. It's moving in a little tight on him. At least every time he's punching, you catch it and you're countering with something. You're not letting him get away with shots, which is good. Sooner or later, you're going to catch him pulling out with the left hook.
Well, as we hear Emmanuel Stewart agreeing with Gil Clancy's assessment, we're looking at the parents of Jimmy Paul, Virginia and John Paul, no doubt proud of their son. He's a fine young man. Likes to read, is interested and knowledgeable about the Bible, and is a bit of a real estate tycoon now that he's a champion back in his neighborhoods in Detroit. Round number two.
Oh, man. Andy Stewart told Jimmy Paul to close the gap a little bit. And as you mentioned, he has a lot of respect for Greg Haugen. Now let's see if he's willing to take that extra half step in there and make the jab land. See, Tim, right now he's jabbing and pulling back at the same time. You can't do that. It's two separate moves. A lot of fighters do that. He's dragging back as he jabs.
Round 2 scheduled for 15. Paul waiting to counter there, but it was wide with his left hook. It's landed on behind the ear of Haugen.
Jimmy Paul's defense. So far, Greg Haugen has shown a pretty good defense.
Back up, back up.
Davey Pearl, the referee, you heard his
Come on.
firm instructions to the boxers. The judges are Ed Levine from Miami, Florida, Robert Cox from Phoenix, Arizona, and Art Murray from Las Vegas, scoring on the 10-point system.
Good left hook by Jimmy Paul.
To go, round 2. Pattern somewhat the same as the first round, although Paul able to land a couple of solid blows here in the second.
Another good left hook by Jimmy Paul.
Timed it perfectly as Haugen led with a left hook and paid for it.
Jimmy Paul is such a well-schooled fighter, Tim. Very, very patient guy, good defense, can punch real good with either hand. But it's a question of lighting the fire on him.
Short right inside from the champion. Coming to the end of round number 2. Busier Haugen, but a sharper shooting Paul in the second round. Greg Haugen, his handlers, Wes Wolf and Stan Tischler, not nearly as well known as Emmanuel Stewart and company from the Kronk, but they've done a fine job in bringing this boxer along to the North American Championship and now to a world title trial.
How's it win? Good? Good. He ain't got nothing to whip you with, baby. He's gonna take this guy. You understand? I want a little more pressure from here on in. Because he wants to lay lazy with you and try and pick off with jabs. He's got nothing to beat you with. Hit him with that right hand to the body, come back with the left hook to the head. After you land a punch, right back again with punches. Don't, just hit him with a punch and back off. Okay? Keep pressure.
Stan Tischler's instructions for Greg Haugen. Your comments, Gil?
Tim, they were good instructions. If Haugen can carry those instructions out there, he should do a good job this round. Of course, again, it's all right to tell a kid to do it, but the kid has to be able to do it.
Slight laceration to the lip, upper lip of Greg Haugen, evidently from action in round 2. Nothing serious, but we'll be keeping an eye on it.
The one thing that Stan Tischler told Haugen, he says, when you hit him with a punch, he says, come back and hit him with 2 or 3 more. Now, the reason for that is when you do hit him with the one, as he did then, that's when you have Jimmy Paul off balance. He has very, very good balance. And if you can catch him off balance, that's when you can nail him.
Well, that shot, just as you were describing it, Gil, was the best of the fight for Haugen. It was a real good, solid left to the body.
Paul is still trying to punch and get out of the way at the same time. That's an impossibility.
scheduled for 15. International Boxing Federation World Title at stake. Jimmy Paul was champion. Haugen in blue, the challenger.
Short with all his punches, Tim. He just is not reaching Haugen with his punches.
Paul has been somewhat lead-footed in the early going here. Not a lot of bounce, and while he is basically a flat-footed fighter, usually has a little better movement to try and close that gap. Maybe it's Haugen doing the lulling, because he has won speed, and he keeps coming forward.
Tim, Haugen really gives you the illusion of coming forward. He's not just walking in. That's why Jimmy Paul's punches are short. You see the kid just take that little half step back. Paul just hit him with a good right hand.
Yes, he did.
And the kid laughed.
Talking to him now, Haugen.
Well, he thinks he's in the tough man contest.
Yeah, that was probably a big part of the strategy in those fights.
That and the beer between rounds in the corner.
Under a minute to go in round number 3. Crossing the 30-second mark.
See, Tim, Haugen is not just walking right in. He's not one of those bobbers and weavers that just walks in.
Hold it up, get up, get up.
He jumps in quick and tries to get out quick, causing Paul a lot of problems.
Final seconds of round number 3.
Paul is just starting to loosen up.
Yeah. Yeah, we saw a little more body movement, a little more footwork there right near the end of round 3. Another close round, neither fighter dominant, but I would go to Haugen on that one.
I would too, Tim. Just for the work
After
ethic.
this, man,
Yep.
you had the man hurt with the right hand, and you're sitting waiting on a perfect position for him to come in and give you an opening. You were supposed to run after him. Break the left hook right off a man that's hurt. He cannot block a hook in right hand if you drill it off good. You got to be more aggressive. He's not sitting out here trying to win a game. You got to make opportunities. You hurt the man and let this man off the hook. Yeah, that fight should have been over with this round. There's no standing counsel. If you get the man in trouble, the fight's over well. It's what's costing you money, I'm telling you.
With your jab. Put 2s and 3s together with this guy. If he punches 2, you punch 3. That's how you win this fight. Now his lip is bleeding. I want you to chop him up.
Already got him slit.
Chop him up.
Round 4 upcoming. A somewhat frustrated Emmanuel Stewart trying to get Paul, trying to light the fire, as you put it, Gil, and the Haugen corner, calm, cool, collected, feeling that their young guy is so far on course here.
Well, Tim Stan's official said a very interesting thing and very basic. He said if he hits you with 2 punches, you hit him with 3. The way you're going to win. That's pretty good logic.
We did note that Jimmy Paul had seemed to loosen up in the final seconds of round 3.
Just started to get a little body movement.
All right, step out.
Emmanuel Stewart asking him to be more aggressive.
There's that Greg Haugen taking that little skip back again, Tim. He's not the easiest target in the world.
All right, turn him loose, get up.
Talking about the footwork of Jimmy Paul being somewhat lackluster in the early going. In looking at the legs of these two fighters, Haugen has the legs of a middleweight. Incredible calves. Solidly put together young lightweight at 135.
Keep him up, keep him up.
Davey Farrell warned Jimmy Paul. I thought it was a borderline punch.
Good right to the body from Haugen. He moved Paul with that punch.
He's a strong kid, Tim.
Halfway through round 4. There's that beautiful combination, but picked up by Haugen.
Turn him loose,
First time Paul has really tried to throw that 1-2. And it should be borne in mind as this fight develops that Paul has gone the distance in his last 2 title defenses, a somewhat disputed decision over Cubanito Perez, and a tough fight against Darrell Tyson, avenging an earlier defeat that most everybody conceded was a somewhat questionable decision.
Tim, in the Perez fight, Paul got very, very tired in the last 3 rounds. But in the Tyson fight. He came on in the end of the fight, so we don't know which Paul is here tonight, if in fact it goes the distance. Landing some pretty good shots now. Starting to get the range.
Good combination by Haugen. Both punches scoring.
Jim, he just jumps in with his punches, Greg does.
A little more blood from that slight cut on his upper lip. Again, not a serious factor.
Good jab somehow.
Coming to the end of round number 4, Greg Haugen in blue. Have you not heard of him? Well, that's all right. He is the North American champion from Auburn, Washington, now living in Las Vegas. And as time winds down in the 4th round, has already shown Jimmy Paul, a better-known champion, that this will not be any easy evening. Don't forget, this is a doubleheader tonight on Showtime. And following this bout, Jimmy Paul's stablemate at Kronk, Dwayne Thomas, gets his title opportunity for the vacant crown. He's rated number 2, and he'll take on John the Beast Mugabe. 12 rounds for the WBC Super Welterweight Championship at 154 pounds.
All you're doing is sitting there waiting and letting him see what he's going to do. You're the champion. You get out and start jabbing and go to the man. You're in bad shape. I mean, it's simply because you're not fighting. If you was fighting and looking bad, it's different. You're not even fighting now.
Again, Emmanuel Stewart with some stern words for his charge, Jimmy Paul. Not happy with his performance through the first 4 rounds, but we've listened to Emmanuel make that same exhortation to Paul in other fights. Paul winds up winning them. He is 26-1.
All right, come on out, come on out.
You know, Tim, Jimmy Paul is not animating that in the corner. He just sits there and stares into space. I just don't even know if he's paying attention to Emmanuel Stewart.
Oh,
good straight right hand by Jimmy Paul. Over the jab, and Greg Haugen smiled again and told him, it didn't hurt me.
that's Paul's best punch. He can really wing it. Now he looked to the corner to Stewart.
Jimmy Paul just does not seem sure of himself tonight. Tim. A little bit off.
I sense, though, that it's a familiar scenario, Gil. I mean, we've seen this before. And, you know, he seems to get it together as the fight goes on. Haugen, obviously a discouraging kind of a guy. 2 good body shots by the challenger. Haugen appears to be kind of a heavy puncher rather than a sharp puncher.
That's right,
the body.
He's the kind of a guy that can club you. He doesn't have that real sharp snap in his punches.
All right, come on out, come on out, come on out.
Good combination by Haugen.
Step out.
Now a little blood from the lip of the champion, Jimmy Paul. Under a minute to go, round number 5.
Come on out, come on
And
out.
this is really a tough fight to score. There hasn't been a dominant round in the fight.
No, that's correct.
All right, step out, no.
On our card, unofficially, naturally, we have the challenger ahead 3 rounds to 1. But Bill's point being that some score may tip the balance the other way.
Step out.
Under 30 seconds to go in round number 5. Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy. We are at the Sports Pavilion indoors at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. Championship action on Showtime. Both fighters landed their jabs in that exchange.
The key is that Jimmy Paul's educated jab has lost its education right now.
Coming to the end of round number 5. And some more blood from the lip of Jimmy Paul, the lower lip. And we want to remind you that following title fight. The Beast will lead the action, representing Kampala, Uganda, and Tampa, Florida, against Wayne Thomas for the vacant WBC 154-pound title, vacated by Thomas Hearns. Hearns will next challenge for the light heavyweight crown and wait his time for what he hopes will be another battle against marvelous Marvin Hagler. There's Greg Haugen. You can see just a little abrasion on the upper portion of his lip.
You shoot that hook to the body, that right hand, the left hook with a right uppercut behind. You got to put 2 and 3. Get off.
Well, Gil, in the interest of trying not to score even rounds as much of the time as possible, I gave round 5 to Haugen, again very close.
Every round has been close.
My view of the fight 4-1, which I think you concur with, is evidently supported by Emmanuel Stewart, if you can judge by his comments to his champion.
Well, Tim, when you know the kind of ability that a Jimmy Paul has, and then you see him going out there and not using it, it's very, very frustrating.
We're in round 6, scheduled for 15.
Haugen has already landed some heavy punches this round.
Yes, he has, and showing a little bounce, too, as though his confidence is building with each round, as it should. Still, as usual, with your sharp eye and keen boxing mind, you've picked up something that has really proven to be a big factor. That little movement on the part of Haugen backwards, escaping and forcing Paul to reach for him.
That's right, Tim. Jimmy Paul, that his jab should be going right through Haugen. Instead, he just is not reaching him with the jab. And when he throws the right hand, he has to reach for Haugen, and it makes him look very, very awkward, as he just did then.
Yep.
And Haugen comes in quickly, lands a thudding punch, gets back out again, plays that little game.
That little escape route came in handy against those 200-pounders in bars and Anchorage.
I don't think he had to move as quickly either. You know, Tim, in the bars and Anchorage, they never got into the 6th and 7th round. Let's see what happens later in the fight.
Blood from the lip of Jimmy Paul starting to bother him a little more.
Nice combination by Paul, but again, Haugen just shrugged it off.
Came back with one of his own. Under a minute we go in round 6. And a short right by the challenger and a good counterpunch back from Paul. That combination fell short. And again, there was a little bob and weave, nicely done by Haugen.
He has what we call awkwardly cute moves. Took a little step over to the right that time, threw a good right hand.
Solid jab by the champion there. 30 seconds to go, round 6. Combination that boxing the ears literally by Paul. He caught him coming in with an overhand right. That stopped Paul in his tracks.
Tried it again, Tim.
Yeah, grazed him that time.
Haugen is looking to see if his left eye is cut.
No,
right eye.
It is the blood of Jimmy Paul, I believe.
Tim, I think he may have a cut right eye.
Now, let's see as he's...
Yeah. Let's see, Tim.
I think it's blood from the mouth of Jimmy Paul. Let's see if they clean him up here. We'll find out as we're in the...
No, Tim, it looks to me like he has a cut right eye.
Go right back to him with something right away, even if it's no more in the jail. You gave him
they're working on time. They're working on Greg Haugen's right eye.
You said it wasn't going on.
Stan Tischler's the cut man.
Work now.
There we are.
There you can see Stan Tischler working on the cut.
Yeah.
The kid knew he was cut, Tim, as soon as it happened. Just shook his head.
Looks like it's high on the eyebrow.
Right on my hand.
And I suspect it might have been a clash of heads rather than a blow.
Pushing back.
Because I thought originally the blood may have been in the mouth of Jimmy Paul, which is bleeding, and their heads did come together. So I think it was an accidental clash of heads. It does not appear to be too serious. Paul, meanwhile, had been bothered by the cut lip in round number 5, in round 6, pardon me, and those little things can combination, even though it may not be a real factor in terms of your performance. Obviously not blocking his vision at all.
Good counter punch by Jimmy Paul. Good stiff left hook.
Round 7 scheduled for 15. Tim Ryan, Gil Clancy, ringside. Sports Pavilion of Caesars Palace.
All right, come on out. Come on out. Come on out.
Good combination by Greg Haugen. Again, that work ethic. And he may have hurt Jimmy Paul, Tim.
Yes, he did. Paul looking a little confused here, looking at the referee, Davey Pearl, trying to get his feet underneath him. No question that Paul is in some trouble here, and the crowd sensing it.
And Haugen is sticking to his battle plan. Tim, he just isn't walking in. Look, he's up to the mark, away from the mark. That's what we used to call it in the gym. Those quick moves in, quick moves out are really bothering Jimmy Paul.
Paul definitely trying to stay outside now, get his feet under him, a little bounce, make a recovery here. He was wobbled.
Get out. Get out.
Haugen countered with a left, out 2 slapping jabs from Paul.
Hold up. Hold up.
And that jab is normally a very stiff thing indeed that he uses as a punching weapon.
It's been no factor tonight, Tim.
Has not.
Watch it.
Under a minute to go in round number 7.
Good body shot by Greg Haugen. Now 2 good jabs.
He's got the champion backing up and fighting very defensively since that combination that wobbled him. Good uppercut from Haugen. And another.
2 good left hooks, Tim. After the right hand to the body. It's amazing how he can just take that little step back and Paul can't reach him. And you have to remember Paul has a reach advantage and a height advantage.
Solid right to the body by the challenger. Paul with that lip bothering him, cut inside the lower lip, and you can see his tongue working at it. And those kinds of things that can be very distracting.
Tim, he's outstrengthened Jimmy Paul right now.
The crowd appreciating the effort by Greg Haugen. Round number 7 on our card. We've got the challenger up 5-2. Bearing in mind, a lot of them were close rounds. It could well have been scored either way. And here we'll see that combination from Haugen that definitely got the champion's attention.
And Tim, it was just a little short left hook off a right hand to the body.
Emmanuel Stewart showing more concern at the end of each round.
That's the way to pressure. That's the way. That right hand would have ripped his head off. Hook him, baby. Hook him.
Tim, Stan Tischler did a good job on the right eye of Greg Haugen. You talk about cut man, he looks like he's a good cut man.
I pointed out that Wolf and Tischler are not exactly recognizable names in the boxing business. They don't have the ring of Clancy and Dundee. They don't have the...
I'm glad you said Clancy and Dundee instead of Dundee and Clancy.
or the Eddie Futches and Emmanuel Stewarts, but yes, indeed, they are doing a fine job in that corner. Very professional. We mentioned the end of round 7 on our official card. We've got the challenger ahead 5 rounds to 2.
The rounds were so close.
Yes, indeed.
Don't be surprised if somebody has them exactly the opposite way.
Yep.
But Haugen, at the end of the last round, Tim, was starting to outstrength Jimmy Paul.
He's out punching him here in round 8. Jimmy Paul in his 5th World Championship bout. He won it from Harry Arroyo in April of '85 and has defended against Robin Blake, Benito Perez, and Darrell Tyson. Greg Haugen, his first title try. He is the North American champion.
seems very, very lethargic. He just isn't with it. I mean, the kid is out speeding him, stepping in, banging with punches, and getting back out without having to pay at all. Jimmy looks like he's sleepwalking.
Come on now, both of them.
In a case like that, Tim, when Jimmy Paul blocks a punch, he should counter, but he's not countering. Good left hook by Greg Haugen.
Yeah, he's been effective with that as a lead punch. He kind of wings it up almost halfway between a hook and an uppercut, and he's caught Paul by surprise several times. There's a good left by the champion. But
Here's that big right hand of Paul's. Look.
a little swelling under the right eye of Haugen.
Tim, he's the boss in there right now.
Has been the last 2 rounds in our view. Right hand,
But
yeah.
Paul, right on a button, nothing happened.
Maybe a little cut now at the corner of the right eye of Paul. Big right hand by the champion. That backs up Haugen. Paul pressing the advantage. Bell sounds, ending round number 8. A good finish by the champion, but the rest of the round really went to Haugen. So on our card, we're going to go with a challenger, but frequently you will see judges go with the man who finishes well.
But Tim, that was always an old trick in boxing.
The fight would have been over with if you had been more aggressive.
Now let's take a look at that Jimmy Paul right hand. And there it is, right on the button, Tim. And that's what the people in Vegas talk about. They say they love this kid.
Left
He
side.
gets it on the button and nothing
The
happens.
left hook behind him. Get my trunks, Start your bobbing and weaving. Pull his trunks out. Take a nice deep breath.
Tim, as I was saying, that's an old trick in boxing. Somebody yells out 15 seconds and the guy rallies, and a lot of judges forget about the first 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
There's Dwayne Thomas, and must be somewhat concerned about Jimmy Paul at this point, but he looks very relaxed as he prepares for his battle for a world title against John Mugabe.
Tim, I doubt if they're allowing him to watch the Jimmy Paul fight. I don't think he has the television in his dressing room. Oh, he is what?
I would say absolutely.
Well, there's something I didn't know, and if I was his...
Unless he was watching All My Children or something.
Well, Tim, if I want to tell you, if I was his manager and trainer, he would not be watching the fight. The guy who he has to worry about tonight is Dwayne Thomas. It's his future and his life.
We're into round number 9.
He looked very happy.
Yeah, nice and relaxed. Now let's see whether the champion, Jimmy Paul, can continue from the final seconds.
Yes, he landed his best punches of the fight in the last few seconds.
Hey, yeah.
He just can't reach this kid. And he's unwilling to really take a chance. Unlike Haugen, who just took a big chance then, winging that right hand.
And Haugen, who has not had the benefit of the gym experience that Jimmy Paul gets in the Kronk and the fine tutelage of somebody like Emmanuel Stewart, trainer of champions. Nonetheless, some of the things we're looking at here, Gil, good balance, that in and out you've already described. He's got terrific legs, as I pointed out just physically, that hold him up very well.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a ballet dancer, but he gets the job done.
Yeah.
Hands are up inside him. He can block a lot of those short punches that Jimmy Paul usually scores with. Jimmy's mouth is wide open now.
And the 9th scheduled for 15. Tim Lyon and Gil Clancy watching this IBF lightweight championship bout. And as we see it, the champion in gold, Jimmy Paul, in some trouble. Our scorecard. Short right from the challenger.
Jimmy is a good infighter, Tim. If, in fact, he decides to grit his teeth and fight inside, he throws beautiful short combinations, but up to this point, he's unwilling to do it.
mature performance here by the challenger than against Edwin Curette when he won the NABF title, and against Landeros in his another recent outing. He just seems to have really improved dramatically. Stepped up to this step up in class.
Yeah, but he's doing the same thing time after time, and he's getting away with it.
Into the end of round 9.
The sharpshooter just is not the sharpshooter. The ball keeps missing.
Well, we're heading into the 10th round. And again, we have pointed out there have been some close ones. But right now,
try to time him as soon as he starts coming to
7-2 Haugen.
All
right, Tim.
Let him run into the right hand. Okay?
However, 4 of the rounds, in our opinion, almost could have gone either way. You know, it's tough to hedge. The judge has a tough job. He has to make a decision, you know. But it's very, very close as far as those rounds are concerned.
You got to get your punches off. You understand? You must get off of the punches. Use your jab, in and out, but work forward. He don't like when you work forward. He likes you to back off, then he can get off with that left jab. And go with that overhand right, left hook behind. Come on, this is for everything, this fight. Fuck it. Let everything hang out. He's nothing.
That's the first semi-excited comment offered by the Haugen corner. They've been very calm and poised in there, very impressive. Just a little reminder that, hey, you're doing fine, but this is a world title fight. Keep it up. Or words to that effect from the vernacular of our English language.
Get in the neutral corner.
We've got a tape problem on the glove of Jimmy Paul.
What the hell's that thread? Here.
Davey Pearl alertly pointed it out, Tim. Took the thread off, and away we go.
Scheduled for 15. Paul, for the first time, was able to get Haugen on the ropes. Landed a short left. Haugen now gets right back to the center of the ring. Good left hand by the champion there.
Get your hands off.
As Jimmy Paul drags Tim, as I keep repeating myself, but he drags his left foot back, which means he's trying to punch and get out of the way at the same time. You just can't do that. He has to have the confidence in himself to step in with that jab and stiffen it up.
Hold up. Come on out. Come on.
26-year-old Greg Haugen from Auburn, Washington, now resident here in Las Vegas. Jimmy Paul, born in Great Falls.
Good right hand by Greg Haugen, Tim. Double jab, but one of the few times Paul was off balance and Haugen took advantage of it. And another right hand, then a left hook to the body. Very basic stuff from Haugen. Right hand to the body, left hook to the chin. Left hand to the body, right hand to the chin. But the thing is, he keeps doing it.
And
He's
there
doing
he
something.
had that little upshoot left that we talked about earlier, and he just scored with it again. There's some more blood from that cut inside the lower lip of Paul.
There was a Floyd Patterson left jab, Tim. Flies through the air with the greatest of ease.
All he got was there on the other end.
There it is again. Not effective at all.
Under 30 seconds we go in round 10.
Kid just knows enough to stop just so that Paul can't reach him with that left jab. He's out thinking Jimmy Paul. Paul thinks he's coming and he's not coming.
Well, what a contrast in the preparation these guys have had as pros. Here's Jimmy Paul, a 4-time Michigan Golden Gloves champion, 3-time Michigan AAU champion. And here's Greg Haugen, who learns how to fight in saloons in Anchorage, Alaska, each 26 years of age. And into the 11th round, very much in contention here. And there you see his mother, Sandy Haugen, on the left of your screen. His girlfriend, Karen Dardis, who looks a little concerned, we might say, but I got to believe that both those women feel that their man is doing all right.
Tim, believe me, in a close fight like this, if you're working in the corner, or again, if you're the girlfriend of the mother, all these close rounds, until the referee says your guy won, your heart is just up in your throat. I know many a fight I waited for a decision, even though I thought my guy won. I was almost sometimes sure he won, but you're still nervous until they say the winner. Oh, there's a smile.
Moving like Muhammad Ali. Rip his head off, the son of a bitch. You understand? Let's go.
Well, that's the line of the night there from Tischler. Said he's moving like Muhammad Ali. Rip his head off.
Well, Ali did not get his head ripped off too many times, Tim. I'll tell you that.
Low shot there from Haugen, but out of the view of Davy Pearl. We're in round number 11, scheduled for 15.
You pointed out the punch from Greg Haugen. He's throwing the punches. If not too much is happening, at least he's throwing and scoring. And Jimmy is waiting and waiting. How's that song go, Waiting at the Church? He'll be waiting at the end of the fight unless he wakes up.
No knockdown.
Off balance. Yeah. Well, again, though, Tim, even though he was off balance, there was nothing. But this may wake up Jimmy Paul. Maybe.
And rushing in with a left hook lead that missed.
Boxing is just so much psychological stuff in boxing. Just a little accident like that can change things. Give Paul a little more confidence. Wake him up.
Jimmy Paul's desire to be considered with Camacho and Rosario, feeling that he's been overlooked as the IBF champion, kind of the third champ. One would think, even from that psychological point of view, that he would have been out here tonight to impress, to start like a house of fire and get rid of this guy who's essentially an unknown. This is not a well-known contender. And yet, it's been Haugen's night as we see it. We keep cautioning that the judges may rule these close rounds the other way.
He's not the fastest guy in the world, Haugen, but he's outspeeding Jimmy Paul. In and out.
Hold it up. Come on.
3 minutes to go, round 11.
Paul had no snap in those punches whatsoever. Three-punch combination, they were all blocked, but there was nothing to the punches.
Rather than coming on, as he has done in the past, he seems to be more confused here in these later rounds. Not quite sure what to do with this guy.
All right, come on now.
And a little deep sigh there, a deep breath from Paul. Maybe he's feeling the pace. Must be.
Hold it up, hold it up. Hold it up.
Again, a take problem on the left glove of Jimmy Paul. Daniel Stewart up quickly to take care of that.
Just the fact that Haugen is willing to reach in and bang to the body, somebody has to make the fight, and Haugen is making the fight. Nice combination. Again, Paul couldn't reach him, and as soon as Paul set himself, the kid jumped right in, scored 2 punches.
Hard-pressed to give more than 2 rounds so far to the champion. Round 2 and round 6, again with our usual disclaimers. Let's listen to the corner of Jimmy Paul.
We got problems. We got problems on the score sheet. Serious problems. You're going to have to get out and go to work. You're going to have to go for a knockout. You're damn right. You're losing your championship. I'm telling you. You're waiting too much. Go to work. It's simply because you don't have the desire. And you can't hold on to no championship without a desire. It's got a champions in the heart. And all you're doing is just act like you're going through the motion. Anytime this man runs to you first, he's getting the points because he runs in and lands the first shot. Then you're into a clinch, but he's got it off. So we tell you, get him off, go turn with something. Touching him. I can't say no more.
Left hook back in the body, back to the head. Put him together, son. He's ready. He's been ready to come around. But you got to leave.
Well, I tell you, you know there is serious concern when more than one guy talks in a Kronk corner. Emmanuel Stewart took himself out of it. The other two, Ralph Citro, I think it's Walter Smith in there tonight, had chipped in there trying to encourage Jimmy Paul. It is quite clear that Emmanuel Stewart and the rest of the Kronk corner are very concerned.
Well, you heard what Emmanuel said, he said just exactly what we're saying. He said, you have problems. You're losing your championship. You just don't have the desire. He's been fighting like he's in a trance, going through the motions.
Step out, step out.
Just seemed, fighters will say that after a fight. I just couldn't get off tonight. Couldn't get off.
All right, come on out again.
Many a time in the dressing room, a fighter would say to me, you got to get him for me again. And I'd say right back to him, you just had him. You don't get the opportunity that many times. When you got it, you have to take advantage of it.
Well, that's what Greg Haugen is definitely thinking. He's in round 12. Scheduled for 15.
I don't like to criticize a kid that's winning a fight, but I think he could show a little more fire. He can start really manhandling Jimmy Paul now. Push him. Let him know he really wants it. Again, these judges don't use slide rules.
And these judges are Ed Levine from Miami, Robert Cox from Phoenix, Art Lurie from Las Vegas.
The kid is able to tie Paul up inside him. He's physically a little stronger than Jimmy Paul. There he is again. Now he's muscling him a little bit. He won't allow Paul to get off with those combinations.
There's a good left by Paul.
Also a good left by Haugen. Paul coming in. Exchange. For a lightweight fight, Tim, very, very slow footwork on both fighters' parts, especially Jimmy Paul.
Round 12 scheduled for 15. Now, of course, Haugen has never been beyond this distance. He's been 12, winning the NABF title from Curette.
Good left hook, right hand by Greg Haugen. Paul is showing more effort this round, Tim. Not that he's more effective, but he's showing more effort.
Crowd getting into it here. Most of them are Haugen fans. He lives in Las Vegas now. Under 30 seconds in round 12.
Step back, please.
Same moves by Haugen time after time. Right hand lead to the body on their effect. They land. By now, Paul should have something figured out.
Good jabs from the champion.
And a good right hand from Haugen.
A dandy by Haugen back. Left hand there by Paul back in round number 12.
Tim, it goes to show you the state of Jimmy Paul, and we have to point out that he finally landed a left jab.
Fight. Take a deep breath. Let's get that whole thing back.
3 more rounds.
Come on, let me hear it. Damn, don't let this title go to this guy because he's bullshit. Reach down to the bottom. You're a champion.
Reach down.
And reach down and go with everything you got for everybody.
Left hook on it.
You're a champion. Go all out. Walk right over to him and let it go. Don't punch them 5 feet out.
Knock that soup cooler off the bottom of his face.
Stan Tischler sounds like Burgess Meredith and Rocky there. He's
Tight. Depends on
he's
his
got all the
round.
lines.
Let's get
You're
it.
a champion.
He's
and
dead. He can't hurt nobody.
he's dead.
And I thought it was Burgess. That's not him.
Round number 13. The concern is more properly in the Paul corner, the champion.
Paul looks alive now, though, Tim, for some reason or other. Looks like he's awake.
Parents here to watch him defend his title, hopefully for the 4th time successfully.
Again, the same thing. Anytime Haugen wants to get inside, he fires a right hand to the body, follows it in. That's Gene Fulmer used to be very effective with that, Tim. He'd fight the good fighters, the Ray Robinsons, and just, it would be right hand, head, and left hook.
But, you know, a lot of these combinations just seem to be in slow motion from
Yes,
Paul. That one we just saw there, Haugen was right there, and Paul missed him with all 3 punches.
Yep, there's the right hand, head, left hook. Oh, good right hand by Paul.
Yep, that had the snap on it, but a left back from Haugen. That's what Joe Clancy likes to see. You get hit the other guy back.
Make him pay, Tim. Nice left hook underneath by Jimmy Paul.
Round 13, this
energy now. He just cannot seem to nail this kid with anything, and he usually is a sharpshooter. See, there we go, right hand. Anytime Haugen wants to get close.
Step out, step out.
To go, round 13. Jimmy Paul, victories over Arroyo, Perez, Andy Gannigan, Robin Blake. Having a difficult evening with Greg Haugen.
Hold up.
This young man unbeaten, but not against the caliber of competition Paul has faced. His best wins over Chris Calvin and Charlie Brown.
Snap or the strength tonight. He used a lot of energy in the beginning of the round. Look at that right hand, slow motion. That was not a Jimmy Paul right hand.
It's the end of round number 13. Early action in the round was the better part of it by Paul, and probably the winner of the round on the basis of that. But again, we point out that sometimes judges remember the last few seconds, and without a real dominant figure, the scoring is going to be very interesting in this bout. On our cards, Haugen is handily ahead, but it may mean nothing at all.
Manny Stewart seems to feel the way we feel, Tim, unless, although sometimes a manager, even if his fighter's ahead, he'll tell him he's losing because he wants him to work a little harder.
Yeah, but we've heard Manny Stewart enough, I think, to recognize the difference.
Oh, yeah, there's concern. He's very concerned, and he should be.
You guys, come on, Jimmy. Come on.
Ralph Citro in the foreground, ostensibly the cut man, but getting into the cheering section here, they know this kid's in trouble. The champion, Jimmy Paul. Challenger, Greg Haugen, a little swelling around his eyes, but otherwise looking just fine, thank you. Round 14.
Tim, we said before the show that these underdogs in both of these fights are live underdogs.
Haugen scoring inside, landed a low blow and gets word from the referee. Yeah, I think that we've seen a few low blows. None of them appear to be intentional.
Xavier Pearl's been right on top of the action, Tim, through the entire fight.
This looks like round one for Paul.
Just cannot time this kid at all. There was the best right hand that Paul threw. Little snap on the punch.
Yeah, but Haugen had the gloves up there.
Yeah, I know. I didn't say he landed it. I said it was the best one he threw. He had bad intentions. There's another one with bad intentions. Butter punch with Greg Haugen from the beginning of the fight. There it is again. Haugen starting to show a little wear and tear.
Never been beyond 12, remember?
A little wear and tear.
Paul has fought 15 the last two fights he's been in. Haugen 12 once when he won the title. North American title from Edwin Curat. When 10 his last outing against Ernie Landero. Under 30 30 seconds to go in round 14.
Good right hand by Jimmy Paul. Haugen is getting hurt to the body, Tim. Paul, in this round, landed a few good body shots. Anytime you see the fighter lift his leg up.
Term this a mild rally by the champion. 13 and 14 we have scored for Jimmy Paul.
In fact, don't leave any doubt and take him out of there. Don't forget, don't let him get points. Let's go to work. You have to stay busy so he don't steal the round on points. He might steal the title off you. You need this round there.
No lunging. You have to have this round. No lunging. Get him on the chin, baby, with that hook of that right hand.
You got to fight.
Fire it with depth in it.
This is the title, this last round, win or lose. You understand? Don't give it.
This is it.
Two tough young guys have been battling for 14 rounds. A world championship at stake. Jimmy Paul in gold, Greg Haugen in blue. The champion in trouble through much of the fight has rallied in the last two as we have seen it.
And Tim, he threw two left hooks with a lot of snap on him. Of course, they didn't land, but at least once you know you can do it. And he's reaching underneath. He knows he's bothering Haugen to the body. He lands another good left hook to the body. Now he's using those elbows. He's using his blunt smarts now. Tim, you can tell how tired Jimmy Paul is when Davey Pearl separated him and pushed him back. He almost knocked Jimmy Paul down. And Greg Haugen is not exactly fresh as the days he either, Tim. This is a tough, grueling round of a tough, grueling fight.
One wonders why Paul did not fight in this manner earlier on. He may be a little too late. It's up to the judges, but this is the kind of fight that Jimmy Paul's capable of. He seemed to be saving it for the last 2 or 3 rounds.
There's a snap on the punches, Tim. He woke up.
But busier and throwing them over and under.
Again, Haugen being awkwardly cute, weaved underneath a couple of good punches. And he's punching back himself.
Haugen having difficulty now making good contact with Paul. He's obviously weary.
He's tired. Will this late rally by Jimmy Paul even it up? Now Paul is trying to fight. Before, he'd allow Haugen to tie him up.
Holding and hitting warning to Paul. Haugen really has got no snap left. He's just trying to stay close to Paul. Appear to be busy. 30 seconds to go. But again, on our cards, he has dominated over the fight. How the judges see it is
Tim,
different.
these last 3 rounds, looks like Paul's going to win this round.
On my card, that only brings him to 5.
Well, and we had 4 close rounds, Tim. This is a tough one to score. I think Haugen did enough to win. Again, it's up to the judges.
That's it. All over. 15 bruising rounds. Jimmy Paul's title defense against Greg Haugen. And will a late rally, as we saw it, at least the last 3 rounds by the champion, enable him to retain the IBF lightweight title. It's in the hands of the judges right now. Ed Levine, Robert Cox, and Art Lurie.
the moment of tension. Put yourself in the shoes of Greg Haugen, Jimmy Paul, Emmanuel Stewart, and Stan Tischler. They're just waiting. Nobody can change anything. None of their efforts. It's up to the judges, and then when Chuck Hull says, and the winner is, at that second, it affects an awful lot of people's lives. One guy's going to go out, maybe we'll have a new champion, maybe he'll retain his title, but believe me, there is tension, especially for these people that I mentioned. I've been through it a lot of times. Many a time I'd have one of my guys fight, and I'd be sure he won, but again, in the back, I'd always be, oh, well, you can't be too sure. Maybe somebody saw something that I didn't see. And you're just so uptight until finally they make that decision. Manny Stewart doesn't look too happy. And Stan Tischler isn't exactly dancing around the ring. You don't see, and neither of the fighters is being held up on anybody's shoulders. This is a tense moment. And I think the crowd feels the same way. And I think Greg Haugen is shaking everybody's hand. And you know, we used to get an idea of who won a fight by watching the photographers. Somehow they'd always be over taking pictures of the right guy. All right, now let's go up to ring announcer Chuck Hull.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. Judge Robert Cox scores 143 Haugen, 140, check that.
Let's see what Chuck Hull comes up with now. Tension upon more tension.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is the decision of the judges. One judge scores 143, the bout is even. Judge Artillery scores 143, 142. Judge Ed Levine scores 144, 141 for the winner by majority decision, and you,
these two guys together here, Stan, if you don't mind. It was a great 15-round battle. Let's talk first with Greg. Obviously, you're elated. You had to be worried about a fight that could be scored so close because every round appeared to be close to us, although in our card, we had you the winner, Greg. What were your thoughts going into the last round?
I knew it was real close, and I had to, you know, anytime you fight a champion, you got to beat him decisively. And Jimmy's been a real good champion, and I thought it was close. You know, it was give and take the whole fight. You know, he won a couple rounds, then I'd come back and win a couple rounds. He hit me with a couple big shots, and I was in good shape, and I could take him. Jimmy, I'd give him a lot of credit.
Jimmy, I know you've got to be disappointed, obviously. Any questions about the decision?
Oh, nothing. I've just been fighting pretty regularly in my body. I just kind of wore down, you know, from training over a long time.
Well, we had the feeling, Gil Clancy and I, that you did not look yourself. You didn't look real physically sharp. You seemed to try to get it going a little later on, and there was no gas in the tank.
Oh, no. When I felt real tired, you know, stale today for some reason. But, you know, I can't argue with what the decision they gave.
All right, Jimmy. Well, we know you'll be back. You've been a great champion. You're still one of the very best lightweights in the world. Greg Haugen, this has got to be a tremendously exciting moment for you. You came into this fight a virtual unknown. I don't think too many people looking in on Showtime tonight outside of Auburn, Washington, maybe Anchorage, Alaska, and Las Vegas really know who you are. And here you are now, champion of the world. When's it going to sink in?
It's sunk in. A lot of hard work for this fight. I don't take nothing away from Jimmy. He's a hell of a champion. I fought my heart out, and I come in here knowing that I had to take the title from Jimmy. You know, it's not an easy job taking the title from the champion.
Well, there's your belt. Let's pull back if we can here and show that championship belt. Greg, how much of that experience in tough man contests do you think has contributed to your success? A lot of people would say, how can that be any kind of preparation for the pros? Mentally, it must have been something.
Oh, it was. I had a lot of experience up there, and I fought a lot of tough guys. You know, it was survive for the fittest. I was fighting guys that weighed 195, and I had to stick and move to stay away from them. And, you know, I knew this fight was going to be a tough fight. I trained my heart out for this fight, and, you know, I was in the best shape of my life. I knew it was close. You know, and any time you fight a champion, you got to beat him decisively.
Well, Greg, you did a great job. Congratulations to you. Now one of the 3 lightweight champions in the world. What do you want next?
I don't care. Camacho, you know I'm there. Raging Rican. I'll knock him out.
All right. Greg Haugen, the IBF lightweight champion of the world, and this guy was a 4-to-1 underdog here in Las Vegas. Virtually nobody giving him much of a shot against the experience of Jimmy Paul. And here is a guy that as I said, had the support of the Las Vegas crowd. But on the other hand, I think there was a lot of doubt in their minds, even though they were hoping that this young man could pull off the upset. There was not a whole lot of conviction, but they are enjoying his victory now, along with his girlfriend. His mom is here, and for Greg Haugen, again, someone who is not exactly a household word, this is a tremendous, tremendous victory over the very tough and experienced and fine champion, Jimmy Paul. Well, here on Showtime Boxing throughout 1980.